Hello and welcome to MaxPreps office hours specifically made for athletic directors. I apologize for the incorrect date listed there. You are in the right place. It's just the wrong date listed on the slides. My name is Haley Hughes. I'm a customer service supervisor here at MaxPreps. We have with us today Aaron Hendricks, who's a partnerships manager. He'll be doing the best he can to answer any questions that you might have throughout the webinar. So just wanted to let you guys know that you will be muted. So please use that chat box or Q&A box to ask us any questions, and Aaron will do his best to answer them as we go. And if we don't get to them as we're going through our slides and live demo, please feel free to copy and paste those questions and we'll get to them at the end. We'll have plenty of time to get those covered. And again, sorry for the wrong date. You're here in the correct place. This is office hours, Thursday, November 4th at 11 a.m. For specifically made for athletic directors. Before we get started, let's find out a little bit about MaxPreps. MaxPreps was created in a little town in California in 2002 by a local high school basketball coach who was looking for a better way to get his team recognition in the local media. He made it our goal here at MaxPreps to celebrate the institution of high school sports and to recognize that for so many young people, this will be the pinnacle of their careers, and the memories that they make playing high school sports will be some of the best of their lives. That being said, we aim to cover every team, every player, and every game, no matter the size of the school or the popularity of the sport. We have about 50 employees. The vast majority of us are former athletes and coaches. All of our customer support team is operated by about 8 people, including myself. So when you give us a call, you can talk to a real life person who knows and cares a whole lot about MaxPreps and the high school sports community. Our goals today, we're going to walk through the essentials for an athletic director. So we'll show you how to gain access to your school, how to get to your AD admin page, the best ways to grant access to your coaches and manage your teams, and how to request to add or remove a sport from your school. We'll walk through both your AD admin and coach admin pages for teams at your school. And then again, we'll answer any questions you may have. So please feel free to use that chat box or the Q&A feature to ask any questions you have as we go, and we'll do our best to answer them. But if we don't get to them, we will answer them at the end. So to get started, you'll first want to create a membership account with MaxPreps if you haven't done so already. You can do so by clicking on the sign in button in the upper right hand corner and then create an account. I'll show you how to do that here in a little bit. But once you get signed in, on the right hand side of your screen here, this little flyout menu you'll see, that's going to be your home base. So when you sign in and click your profile icon, this flyout menu is what you'll see and where you'll want to go to get into your admin account for your school. You can also manage your profile by, if you click on your profile icon in the upper right hand corner and then click on it one more time from this flyout menu, you'll get this membership account page that you see here where you're going to be able to update any of your membership account information, such as your email, password, and the access that you have. So where you can go to remove access to a school or team that you no longer need access to, or to request access to your team or school. Again, these slides are just going to be a quick overview of what we're going to cover in the live demo. So I'm going to move through these fairly quickly, and then we'll head to the live demo. So if you have any questions about these, we may be getting to those in the live demo, but feel free to ask, and I will go over those if you have any specific questions. So once you get logged in to your AD admin account, this is what you should see. So once you click on your school from your flat menu, you'll get taken straight into your AD admin, which should look similar to what you see on the right-hand side of your screen. So inside your AD admin, you'll have the calendar. You'll be able to manage your school, your teams. You'll have a message center, somewhere you can go to update your school logo, a notifications tab, and a manage coaches tab, and also a reports tab. So Again, we'll cover these a little more in the live demo of what those actually mean, but you have access to all of this inside your AD admin. So managing your teams, you can, most athletic directors that I've spoken to, the main concern they have is managing their coaches and managing their teams. So you can update your coach names, give coaches access, actually log in to the team admin for a coach, or update rosters and update schedules as well by logging into those team admins. And again, I'll show you how to do that here in the live demo in a little bit. But what you see on your screen here is all from within your AD admin. So this big box up at the top, that's where you can go to manage your teams. So that's where you'll want to go to add any sports that you don't see listed, that you need listed for your team, or where you can go to actually access team information as well. This current varsity head coaches list that you see here is where you can go to manage coach names. So you have the option to manage all coaches at your school, varsity, JV, freshman, whatever they may be. You'll have the ability to edit all of that information from this page as well. So when you log in to your coach admin, which I'll show you how to do. So if you wanted to go into a specific sport, say you need to update a football score, you can also do that from your AD admin account without actually having access to that specific team. You have access to log into any team at your school, and you can do so through your coach admin account. And this is the coach admin homepage that you'll see here at the bottom of the screen. So that being said, we'll head into our live demo. I told you guys it was a quick run through in the slides. So if you want to pull up maxpreps.com, you're more than welcome to. You don't need to follow along, but you can if you'd like. So if we go to maxpreps.com, this is the homepage that you should see. But if you need to create an account or sign into your account, if you don't see a profile icon up here already, you'll click the sign in button for either of those. And you'll see the option to create an account here where you'll enter your information, create an account, and then you'll come back here to sign in. So if we fill out our email and our password, you'll be taken right back to the home page. So to get into your school admin account or to get to your membership account page to access or to request access to your school admin account, you'll want to come up to your profile icon in the upper right-hand corner. So if you click your profile icon, this is your home base, and this is where you'll be able to go to access your school. So if you click your profile icon and you see your school, or so I know a lot of athletic directors actually are coaches as well, so you may have access to a team here. Any school or team you already have access to, you'll see up here at the top. Below that, you'll see any teams that you're following. So keep in mind, if you do have access to a school or team already, you'll automatically be following that school or team. So if you have access to any team, you'll automatically be following that team listed down here below. So let's say you don't have any school or team here, or you have the incorrect school or team listed in your admin accounts up at the top. To edit that information, you'll want to get to your membership account profile page. So to do that, you'll click your name, which should be listed up here at the top in your profile icon. Click either one of those, and that should take you to this page, which you previously saw on the slides. So this is your membership account page, where you can edit your email address, your password, and so on by clicking this pencil icon next to account info. That's where you'll be able to update any membership account information specific to your account. If we skip over my access for now, you'll see on the right-hand side teams you're following. So if you wanted to update any teams that you're following that you no longer want to follow, or if you want to add any teams, you can do so by clicking the pencil icon in the upper right-hand corner of the following tabs. and you'll see a list of your current favorite teams, and you'll be able to click the checkbox next to each team that you would like to remove, and then click remove. You can also add any team by coming up here, entering the school name, and then selecting the sport that you would like to add as a favorite team. You can also do that from a public fan page. So if you go to a team's page, they should have a follow button in the upper right-hand corner. And if you click that, that should add them to your current favorites here. If we go back to your membership account page, you'll see now in this front and center is your access. So again, any teams or schools you have access to will already be listed here. If you need to remove a school or team or request access to your new school or new team, you can do so by going to My Access and clicking the pencil icon right next to that. Similar to the teams you're following, you can remove any school or team you no longer need access to by clicking the checkbox next to the school or team and then clicking remove. To request access to a new school or team that you may need, you'll request access to add an admin account. So if you go down here to request access, keep in mind that this goes through an approval process. So any team or school that you need access to will have to go through, you'll submit a request into MaxPreps that shouldn't take more than 1 to 2 business days to go through to grant you that access. Once you send in this request and we approve it, you'll get an email from us stating that you were granted access to your school or to your team. The name that you see that is pre-filled out here is just the name that is in your membership account. So if you go back to your membership account profile, it's the name that you see here. So if for some reason, that's also the name that will show as the athletic director for the school. So if you're signing up and you see a name that you wouldn't want to be on the public school page, you'll come back here to your account info and you can edit your first and last name to how you would like it to be shown on the MaxPreps homepage for your school. So again, if you need to request access, you'll go to this pencil icon, go down to request access, and you'll fill out this information. So for most of you, it'll be athletic director, fill out the information, send in a request, and you should get an email from us when you are granted access to your school. You can also always come back and check to see if you were granted access by going back to your membership account profile page, and you should see once we've approved your request that your school is now listed here under My Access. But getting to your membership account profile means you'll need to click on your profile icon up at the top and then click your first and last name and this profile icon up here. That will take you into this page that you see here. But an easier way to get into your admin accounts is if this profile icon is on every single page on MaxPreps. So if you're ever on MaxPreps and you want to get into your school admin account, you'll just click this profile icon up at the top and click your school name. This should look familiar from the slides. I'll zoom in here. So this is your AD admin account homepage. So when you log in, this is what you should see as an athletic director. We've added a few cool new tools to get to what most commonly needs the AD's attention. So if you haven't logged in a while, you may notice this is a little different than what it used to be. So we've added a manage teams and manage coaches button, which gives you the ability to quickly get to log into any teams that you need to, or to grant access to any coaches that you need to. We'll start first with our calendar tool. So your calendar tool is your whole school schedule. Each event and each game will be listed here. You can toggle on and off teams from the calendar on this left-hand side here by clicking this checkbox next to each school. So, or next to each sport, I'm sorry. So if you just wanted to see the baseball schedule, you can toggle off the rest of these sports and you'll see that this baseball team actually has 2 games yet on Tuesday the 2nd, a game today. So that's just a quick way to see what's going on at your school. If you left them all toggled on, that would be your whole school schedule there. So this is just a cool tool to use to, if you have any questions about what's going on that day at your school, this will have a list of all the games currently being played for your school. So if we go back to the home page, here, we'll skip these for a second and just go back down to Message Center. So the Message Center is where you can post to the school wall or to a specific team wall. So if you wanted to send out a note to your whole school or to a specific team, you can do so from this page. You have the ability to mark the post as private. So from here, you can post to school or individual walls or to school walls. That will go, I will show you exactly where that will land if you were to post it. It should just be in your team's feed. If it goes to a specific team wall, if it's a school wall, it'll go to the specific school page and it'll be there for everybody that comes to your school page to see. So if you wanted to post an image, say you guys won the championships, you're more than welcome to post an image of the championships through a post here, which will be posted then to either the school wall or to, say you wanted to do specifically for the football varsity team, you can do so by clicking on football here as well. So if you click just the sport, it'll automatically send to all levels. But if you click the level, it will specifically send to that level of that sport only. So that's just a cool tool if you would like to send out a broadcast to your entire school as well as an entire team. You'll go to Message Center there. The notifications tab here is a great way to click to see if you need or want to check quickly what information may be missing from which teams at your school. So this is the best place to go if you're curious about what's missing from each team. For instance, it'll only show teams that have missing information. So for instance, this varsity baseball team is missing their roster. And since they have a schedule in with results, they're also missing some stats. So if any team has a schedule in, they'll need to also, with any game times passed, they'll have this results checked as long as the results are in. So for instance, this varsity, let's say varsity field hockey here, you see they don't have a schedule in. So technically the results and stats are in. But once you get a schedule in, so for varsity football here, and they have a roster in, they haven't entered the results or stats. So this is just a great way to check to see what they have entered or what information is missing for each team. And you can actually access that information as well from this page. So if you click results here, this will take you straight in to the football team's results. So this is what coaches see when they log in. I'll go into a little more detail here in a little bit, but that's just a quick way to get to where you need to go if you need to update a team's information. So again, we clicked from varsity here. We see that results are missing. So when we clicked that, it took us to the schedule page where we're actually able to update the information for the football team. So again, if you have any questions about any information that needs to be updated for your school, I would come here to your notifications tab where you're able to see what schedules and rosters have been entered for your school. So again, say boys soccer has not entered their schedule yet, you are actually able to get in there and enter it for them by just clicking that red exclamation point. Or you could click login as well. Either way, that will get you to the right place where you're able to update that information for the team if you'd like. If we go back to the home page, reports is another cool little tool that we've built to create a report for your rosters or schedules with a simple click of a button. So if you wanted to get all of the rosters at your school in an Excel file, you can do so by going here, clicking your roster, and this will download all of the rosters that you currently have at your school onto your computer for you. Same goes for schedules. So if you were curious about all the schedules at your school, you can get them in an Excel sheet right from here by clicking on the reports tab from your admin. So if you go to manage school, this is where you'll want to go. So if you need to update your name as the athletic director, so if it's still showing a previous athletic director for some reason, you can actually come to manage school and update the athletic director name from here. And this will update what it shows on the MaxPreps school homepage for your school. You can also come here. So if you have an assistant athletic director, or you happen to be the assistant athletic director and you need to grant access to your athletic director, whatever it may be, whoever you need to grant access to your school, you can do so from here. So if you click on add update permissions, it'll pull up a list of who already has access to your school. So this is MaxPreps school admin list. So we have a lot bigger list than most of you should have. There should only be at least one or two tops of school admins here. So if you need to remove access from a previous athletic director, you can come here to do so as well. So let's say Sam Toy is no longer an admin for MaxPreps. You can click to remove them from here. If you need to add an assistant athletic director or whoever it may be that needs access to your school, you can add an admin by clicking add school admin and filling out this information. If it is the athletic director that you're giving access to, you can override the AD name that's displayed on MaxPreps when you give them access by clicking this button here, and that will update the name that you see listed as the athletic director on MaxPreps. So again, if you need to remove anybody from having school admin access or add them, you'll go to manage school from your AD admin homepage, and then go to add update permissions under AD access on this page. If you need to update any school information, you can do so by going to school information here. And this is where you'll go to update your school address, your school colors, the description, your mascot, and so on. So any information here that needs to be updated, you can do so from the Manage School tab in your admin. So again, any school information on MaxPreps can be updated from here. The school name and search terms, you will need to request access or request to change that. And that just goes through an approval process again that takes about 1 to 2 business days maximum. So if we go back to the home page, we'll go to manage teams here first. So this will give you a list of any teams that have been active on MaxPreps in your school's history. So if you happen to see any active teams here that are no longer active, they may be listed there simply because they have previous stats or scores that are entered there from when they were active at your school. So say your school no longer offers field hockey, it may be listed there simply because there are previous years listed as, or your school as having played field hockey. So if you have any questions about teams that you see here that are listed as active teams that you need removed, you'll have to reach out to us at MaxPreps. So feel free to give us a call or shoot us an email, support@maxpreps.com. And we will be happy to remove that sport from any current seasons that are happening or any seasons that do not have any information listed for them. We don't remove any seasons that do have information on them. So if the team did actually play it back in 2012, we will leave that information on there, but we will remove any current seasons or any seasons that do not have any information from our site. So if you need to add a sport, you can do so from this page by clicking add. And you'll fill out this information. And if you do have a coach for that team already, you can fill out this information, which will grant them access to the team as soon as that sport is added to MaxPreps. So again, when you're going through this and filling out this form, it'll go through an approval process. But as soon as we get that sport added and you've filled out who the coach is for that team, they'll already be granted access to the team as well as soon as we get that sport added. So keep that in mind when you go to add a sport. You can manage any team from this page as well. So if you go to manage, this is where you'll go to log into the coach admin for the team. So if you go to, let's just say we're going to log into the baseball varsity team. If you click manage varsity there, you'll see from this page who is currently listed as the head coach on the public side on MaxPreps. So keep in mind that anybody that is listed here may not actually have access to the team. It's just what is currently displayed on MaxPreps. So to find who has access to the team or to grant somebody access to a team, you can do so by coming to add update permissions on the left. And you'll get a list of who has access to the baseball team. And you can remove anybody that no longer needs access and add access from this page as well. If we go back, you can also log into the coach admin from here as well. So we give you a couple options like you saw in when we went to the notifications tab from the home AD admin page. You were able to log into any coach admin from that page via clicking on the exclamation point with the missing information, and it takes you directly into the admin for the coach to be able to update that information. You can get there into the admin for a coach to be able to update any team's information through here as well by going to manage teams, clicking manage next to the sport, and then clicking the level that you'd like to get into, and then log into coach admin. So if you log into coach admin, that will take you into the home page of that sport where you're able to get to the schedule, roster, and so on to update that information. And we'll go over that in a second. But this is just a quick overview of managed teams. Again, if you need to remove any sports, you'll need to contact us. To add a sport, you'll go through here, which will go through an approval process to get that sport added to your list of active teams. We go back to the home page. We'll click on Manage Coaches, which is our newest button and the one I've found helps out our athletic directors the most. So if you click Manage Coaches, you'll get a list of all of the current head coaches on your school site. So here we have varsity. You can tab to JV or freshman as well. But here you have your varsity head coaches listed. So you'll get every head coach name at your school listed here. From here, you'll be able to edit any coach that you see listed or add any coach that you need to add. So for boys football, let's say I need to add my new head coach. You'll come to the edit button here, where you'll get the same list of everybody that has access to the team. So again, if you need to remove anybody, you can do so from here by clicking remove. And if you need to add somebody, so you need to add the new head coach, you'll come to add team admin, fill out the information, and this should send them an email saying they were granted access to their team. Once you send that off, they also can just log into MaxPreps and they'll actually have the If they click on their profile icon in the upper right-hand corner, they should see their school listed there as soon as you grant them access to their team. So that's by clicking that edit button there. That's where you'll get that list of who has access to the team, where you can remove or add anybody that you need to. Again, this also gives you a quick way to log into the team. So there's multiple ways to get into any team if you need to update any information for a coach or whatever it may be. If you need to update information for a team, you are able to do so from here by clicking the login button, which will now then take you into the admin page for the football team. So when a coach logs in, this is the homepage that they receive versus your AD admin page. So if you happen to have any access to a specific team, you'll notice that that's the homepage that you receive here versus this AD admin page. So when you log in as a coach, this is the first page they see. So to show you just an example of what you may need to do as an athletic director going in and logging into a coach admin, if you need to add a game to a schedule, you can do so by going in, logging in to here, click on your schedule tab, and you can add a game by clicking this blue add button up at the top. That will give you this information to fill out where you fill out the date, time, the game type, whether it's home, away, or neutral, and you type in your opponent. You'll click save or save and add another if you need to add multiple games. But once that game's added and the game date and time have passed, you'll see the option to enter a score if the score hasn't already been entered. When you click to enter a score, this is this box score page, so it'll be different, of course, for each sport that you're playing. You'll see you have the innings here since this is baseball. So if you need to fill out any score, you can do so by just clicking, let's say, MaxPreps beat MaxPreps B 10-0. And you can click to just save and exit. So if you needed to save that score, you can click to save and exit. If you wanted to enter stats for the team, you can save and enter stats manually, or if you're importing the stats, you can save and import stats and find that stat file and import it to MaxPreps. So that's for the schedule. And then really quickly to go over the roster. If you needed to add a athlete to your roster, you can do so by clicking this add button up at the top. You'll see any players that have already been listed on your roster here below. You can remove any athlete by clicking the checkbox next to their jersey number or name and going up to the top and clicking delete. So we also have an option for quick add as well. So it'll pull up anybody that you have listed on your roster already, and you'll be able to type in and fill out any players that you need added to your roster. So this is just a good option. If you're adding multiple athletes to your roster, I would suggest going to quick add rather than the add button where you have to add them one by one. So that's just in case you need to log into your coach admin and update any information. If you were curious about the stats for your program, you can go to the stats tab and it'll pull up the stats for the season that are already entered in. So, and this is where you'll also see if there are any missing stats for the team. So again, if you need to get into any coaches, or if you, I apologize, if you need to get into an admin for a coach, so specific for a team, you need to log into a team to update their information. I would go to manage teams, where you can click on manage next to the sport and click to the level that you would like to manage. From there, you'll just click log into coach admin, where you'll be able to access all of the specific teams information to update their schedule, roster, and whatever it may be. If you need to grant access to any coaches or remove any coaches that no longer need access, you'll just come down here to manage coaches, where you're going to be quickly able to edit their access by clicking edit next to any sport. And remember that you're able to change the level up here at the top from JV, freshman, varsity, and so on. So I know I ran through that pretty quickly, but that should, I believe, cover all of your AD utilities and everything that you do have access to. If I went over anything too quickly, or if I didn't cover something that you would like to see covered, please feel free to use the chat box or Q&A box, and I'm more than happy to go over that again or go over it for the first time if I didn't cover something that you're curious about. So I'll give you guys a few minutes to type out those questions in the chat box or Q&A. I just want to remind you that I will be sending a recording of this webinar out by the end of the day today. So look out for that email. And if you do come up with any questions that you didn't get answered in the webinar, feel free to shoot me an email back to that recording I sent out, and I'm more than happy to get that answered for you. We also have our support line listed here on the slide. So 1-800-324-7329 extension 1. We're in office Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 p.m. Pacific time. So if you have any questions at all, feel free to give us a call. We're more than happy to help. We're here to make your jobs as easy or easier if possible. So if you have any feedback or suggestions, we're always more than happy to hear it. So shoot that our way, and we'll hopefully get that updated for you to make it as easy as possible. It looks like we have a question about entering game dates and getting an error that you've reached your limit of games. You shouldn't be limited on the number of games you have to enter. That's an error on our end. So please reach out to us after this, either support@maxpreps.com, or you can respond to my recording email, and I'm more than happy to take a look into that for you and get those games added for you if you are unable to do so. As I said, if you have any questions, please feel free. I'll be here for the next 10 minutes or so. Feel free to use that chat box or Q&A box. I'll give you that time to type those out. If you don't have any questions, we appreciate you joining us this morning, and we thank you for your participation in MaxPreps. And again, we're here to make things as easy as possible for you. So if you have any feedback or suggestions on how we can do better, we're more than happy to hear it, and feel free to send that our way. It looks like we got a question about a team listed in the wrong season and how to move them. So a lot of the time, soccer is turned on in the wrong season. I know it could be for other sports as well, but if that's the case, you'll have to get in contact with us to make sure that gets updated. So feel free to shoot me an email after this, and I'm more than happy to take a look into what team is turned on in the wrong season and get that activated in the correct season for you. But again, yeah, that's something that we would have to do on our end. Unfortunately, as an athletic director, you don't have the control of removing a season and putting a team in the correct season. It looks like we had a question earlier on about coaches getting into MaxPreps to create an account and enter scores on their own, or if they need an admin to give them permission. So if you're a coach, a coach can request access on their own through their account. So they don't necessarily need an athletic director to grant them access. They can do so on their own, but if you wanted to grant them access, you can do that from your AD admin account, but they don't need to do so through you. They can do it through their own account. And we suggest that each coach has their own account. So if you have any questions about that, feel free to reach out to me after this, but we suggest that coaches each have their own email address that they use to log into MaxPreps with. They can request access through that account by going to their membership account page and clicking that pencil icon next to My Access, and then the request access button to request access to their team. But if you have access as an athletic director, you are also able to grant them access to their team as well. So there's multiple options. Looks like we got a question about how to access previous year stats. That's a great question. So if we head back in, so we're on your AD admin homepage. If you want to go to, let's go to our baseball last year's stats. So we go to manage teams, we go to baseball, click on manage next to baseball, go to varsity. You'll log into the coach admin, and this will automatically send you to the most current season that we have active on MaxPreps. So looks like we have, of course, the spring 21-22 season coming up. If we wanted to go back to the 19-20 season and look at the stats, we can do so by clicking this drop-down menu underneath the school name and mascot and address, and clicking the season drop-down menu and clicking back to a previous season. So if you go to team, you'll be able to go to the stats button for that previous season. So that's how you get back to previous year's stats. So again, you'll go from your AD admin homepage to manage teams, to whichever team you need to get to. Click the level, log into coach admin, and then you'll be able to click to previous seasons as well as the other level. So if you get here and you actually want to see the JV of 1920, it actually looks like they weren't active in 1920, but let's say we want to get to the spring of 2021, you'll click here to go to the team, and then you can click the stats tab from there. But this is a good thing to know as well. So if you are clicking here and you see that you want to go to JV, but you see that the 1920 season isn't active, that just means that we didn't activate the JV level for your school for that sport until the last season you see on there. So it looks like we didn't have the JV baseball team active until spring of last year. So you'll only see the active seasons that the team was on MaxPreps listed here. I hope that answered your question. If there aren't any more questions, we will go ahead and end for the day. But if you guys think of any questions at all, again, please feel free to reply to the recording email that I will send out here by the end of the day today. And I'm more than happy to answer any questions you have. You can also give us a call anytime, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 p.m. Pacific time, as well as shoot us an email, support@maxpreps.com. And anybody from our support team would be more than happy to help you out. Thank you all for participating, and have a good rest of your day.